Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I had an idea to kind of maybe start a series kind of thing called Breakfast in Bed with me, where I take my breakfast in bed. My bed is a futon on the floor at the moment, and yeah, where I pick a topic and I talk about it over breakfast. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of living in Sydney. My breakfast today is my usual smoothie. It is mango, banana and buckwheat and protein powder and mesquite powder. I'm going to try maybe and do like interesting breakfasts with this because, you know, this is pretty boring, but it's amazing and it's my favorite smoothie. So for the moment it will do. Okay, so my first pro is also a con, but I'll get to that later. So obviously the pro of Sydney is the weather. I mean, I think like 8 or 9 months out of the year it is like sunny and hot. Now I was really unlucky this year because it rained for 2 whole months straight in like February and March, but apparently that's really abnormal. So yeah, but otherwise when the weather was good, it was like, you know, 36 degrees, sunny, you know, obviously super hot, and it was just beautiful, blue skies. And yeah, I mean, it's like that, it's still like that in Sydney at the moment. I got there in October and it was amazing when I got there, and apparently it had been like that for a few months. Obviously when you're talking about Australia, the weather is going to be a massive pro. Okay, so the beaches, and this is just like hands down what makes Sydney Sydney and what makes Sydney so amazing are the beaches. The beaches are absolutely amazing. I mean, like, the color of the water in Sydney, you just don't find it anywhere else. I just have not found water that kind of blue anywhere else. And I mean, the amount of beaches, they are all incredible. Bronte, Bondi were some of my favorites, and then there's like little bays like Gordon's Bay, and then if you go outside the city you have like Manly Beach, and my favorite beach was DY Beach, which is about an hour north of Sydney. You have Maroubra Beach, you have, you know, and all the eastern suburbs, if you want to live in Sydney, that's where you need to go because that's where all the best beaches are. You can swim every single day if you live near the beach. I mean, you can swim before work because it's hot in the morning, you can swim after work because it's hot in the evening. I want to talk about the harbour in Sydney because it's just the Harbour Bridge, around by the rocks, around by the Sydney Opera House. It's just so beautiful, and there's like, sometimes there's like little markets around by the rocks and just like cute little streets, and it's just like something out of a movie set. It is just absolutely stunning. Now the Sydney Opera House itself is actually smaller than what I expected it to be. But it's still pretty impressive, especially on a hot day. And the fact that you realise you're standing in front of the Sydney Opera House and when you see the bridge. And I was actually on a catamaran for New Year's and I watched the fireworks from pretty close to the harbour, and it was like I was underneath the harbour bridge at one stage. It was just incredibly beautiful. Around that area is just incredible. It's a major pro of living in Sydney, just having that on your doorstep. And the botanical gardens are there as well, and it's just magical. I want to talk about the fitness vibes of Sydney. In Sydney, it's like, especially the eastern suburbs, I think somebody told me it was like one of the healthiest places in the world because everyone is out running and jogging. I mean, like when the weather is so good, you know, everyone is just out doing activities, doing like going surfing, yoga, you know, calisthenics, like everyone's working out on Bondi Beach. It's just amazing. The fitness vibes in Sydney are incredible. And I also want to give a shout out to the gym Fitness First in Bondi and also in Piermont. Two amazing gyms. They have amazing equipment, amazing views. I mean, the view from Fitness First in Bondi Junction is one of the best views in Sydney. You can see like the Harbour Bridge all across, like the water and all the bays and the city, and it's just incredible. Vegan restaurants. Sydney has amazing vegan restaurants, especially in Newtown. Newtown is where kind of it's not near the beach, it's like on the other side of the city, and that has like Gelato Blue, it has Gigi's Pizzas, it has all the kind of vegan restaurants, like foodie restaurants. Whereas then when you go to the eastern suburbs, you have like Santa Kitchen and Speedos, and Speedos isn't like a vegan cafe, but they have loads of vegan options. And yeah, it is just amazing for vegans. You have like your smoothie bowls everywhere, acai bowls everywhere. Funky Pies is amazing as well. I worked there. That's at Bondi. Just, you are spoiled for choices in Australia in general for vegan food. The transport system is actually really good in Sydney, and I only realized this when I left because Melbourne doesn't have an underground train system, and underground train systems are just so fast. They like don't have to deal with traffic, and they just like zip around, and it's just so easy to get from one place to another, and it's just so quick. The ferry system is just magical. I mean, like, you can just, I would just take a ferry just to, you know, see around the harbour and the bays. And people just get like the ferry to work every day, like from Manly to, you know, the Harbour Bridge or something, and it's just like a regular way of transport. Okay, I'm gonna finish my smoothie and get on to the cons. So I mentioned that one of the cons was also the weather, and this is true because something about Sydney weather, it's super humid. It's just so humid. I mean, I can't remember ever going out, you know, and not sweating like crazy. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, always sweating, so humid. That's a major con. Like, that would make it difficult for me to move there and live there permanently because it is so humid. Okay, let's talk about rent in Sydney, okay, because this is a major con. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. And like, obviously when I got there and saw the crazy prices of rent, I was shocked. But when I left, you kind of get used to it then, and then you leave, and now I'm in Melbourne, and obviously the rent is still expensive, but it's not as bad, and you realize how crazy it is. I mean, if you get a shared room on Bondi Beach for $250 a week each, that's cheap. You're doing well. I did not find anything under $250 a week per person sharing. I mean, no one, like, unless they're paying like $350 a week, no one has their own room in Sydney. You know, if you're paying $500 a week, you're gonna get something really nice, but if you're paying $250, you're gonna get something really crap and basic. And yeah, rent is crazy expensive in Sydney, and I don't think I could do it, you know, unless I was like, you know, had a millionaire job or something. You know, you're just not gonna get something nice. Traffic in Sydney is insane, and I mean, like, I think it's like really bad in the city, and I think I felt this most because I was a cyclist there. So, you know, I cycled, and it's a really terrible place to be a cyclist. I mean, it's hard, like, it's hard commuting in Sydney when you're a cyclist. Also, I think it's because of the windy layout of the place. Like, it's not like a gridded city. It is like all over the place and loopy, and like, it's just not very well laid out. Well, it's well laid out, but it's just confusing, and you have to get used to it. I want to talk a little bit about the city itself. Now, there are nice parts to it. There are some nice buildings and some nice architecture, but the city itself doesn't really have a soul. Like, everyone is just there to go to work. It's very businessy. Sydney, for me personally, and this is just the impression I got from it, and like, if I get hate for this, whatever, but it's just lacking like a creative vibe. It's just lacking some sort of like cultural interest or aspect to it. But yeah, I just felt really like uninspired there, you know, like it wasn't, obviously it does have an arts and cultural scene, I'm not saying it doesn't, not at all, but I'm just saying as a whole it's a bit of an artificial place and it's a bit of a kip in places. Let's talk about all the backpackers in Sydney. I mean, Sydney is just crazy. It is backpacker central. Bondi Beach and all the beaches, they don't feel, there's like a transient quality to it. It just feels like an extended holiday, and it feels like everyone's just been on holiday for too long and it's just kind of sitting around there going, okay, like this has been great, but what do we do now? Like, obviously it never gets old, the beaches never gets old, and that lifestyle is amazing, but everyone hanging around Bondi or at Bondi Beach or any of the beaches, the majority of them are backpackers. I did have a second glass of this. It's like I didn't just have that for breakfast, because that wouldn't have been enough. I did have 2 glasses of these. So yeah, I am going to get my booty to the gym now. I took a fall on my bike the other day, so my wrist is like black, so pretty much all I can do is run. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!